Action in 3, 2...
Youth, welcome to our final week of the Neighbourhood series, closing out Term 2. Special shout out to our amazing life group. Well done, 100% life group attendance for the term, and it's been, 4 weeks of life group content and they still haven't finished that bowl of chips there. So they're doing well, even came in their life group uniform tonight, so thank you guys are amazing. But if there's one thing that we hope that you are taking away from the series, it is that you can add value and that you can make a difference right where you are. I grew up in church and I actually started coming to Arise Youth when I was 13 years old. And I often would hear the phrase, you can change the world, you can change the world. And I never really understood what this meant. In my head, I painted a picture of what I can change the world meant. And for me, that meant one giant big gesture, one amazing thing that I was going to accomplish in my life. But what I've figured out in my Christian journey of knowing Jesus is that it is not about the big gestures, but it's about the small, simple, ordinary decisions, actions, and the way that we live our lives. We make a difference not by waiting for the far away, once in a lifetime, extraordinary doors to open, but by recognizing the opportunities that sit right in front of us every single day, right in our neighborhood. And did you know that God has specifically gifted you, every single one of you watching this episode, He has gifted you with gifts and talents to make a difference in the world that He has placed you specifically in. In Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, it says this, "Before I formed you in your mother's womb, before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as my prophet." God was telling this man, Jeremiah, that He had set him apart. Before he was born, He had decided what He was going to do. And did you know it's the exact same thing for you? That before you were even born, before you lived on this earth, before you've done what you've done, before you had your upbringing, God had already decided what He was going to do in your life for you to make a difference on this earth for His glory. Every single one of us have different opportunities. We all have different upbringings. We all have different perspectives. We've all met different people. We've all spent our day doing different things, and we all have influences with different groups of people. And did you know that God has given you everything that you need to make a difference in the areas that you specifically have in your life? He has strategically placed you in your school. He has strategically placed you in your family, in your sports team, and He has strategically given you the gifts and talents to make a difference for Him in those areas. But sometimes in our life we can hear that we have gifts, that we have talents, and that's all nice things that we can hear. But sometimes it's a little hard to believe it ourselves. And we need people in our lives to tell us what those gifts and talents are in our lives. Right now, sitting in this room is my friend Courtney. And Courtney is one of our amazing life group leaders here in the city campus. And what I love about Courtney is always the first person to call out something awesome on your life, to say that you're really good at something, to say that I believe that's a God-given gift on your life. And sometimes it takes someone else saying that to us, for us to believe the potential, the gifts that are inside of us. So we're going to practice that right now in your life group that you're sitting in. What we're going to do is we're going to go around in a circle in the room that you're in, and I want you to say one thing that you think is a gift on someone else's life in the room, maybe the person next to you. It might be that they're just great at talking to people. It might be that they're a great encourager. It might be that they're a creative genius. It might be that they have an amazing gift of faith on their life. We're going to go around right now in your life group. What is one thing, a God-given gift on a person's life of someone in your life group right now? See you soon. God has given us all different gifts. I have a completely different gift set to what Maddox does, for example. But the thing about that is God has given us all different gifts. They come in different forms, they look different, but they're all for one purpose. We are all different, we're all varied, but we are all called to one purpose. And that one purpose, we've mentioned it before, is to love God and to love people. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 4 says, there are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit that distributes them. 1 Peter 4, verse 10 says, God has given each of you a gift from his great variety of spiritual gifts. Use them well to serve one another. There's a great variety, but it's all for one purpose, to love God and to love people. Sometimes in Christian life, we get caught up on what our calling is, what our big purpose is. But can I tell you, at the end of the day, all of those purposes, all of those callings point back to one true purpose, and that is to love God and to love people. We all have the same purpose at the end of the day. You might want to be an athlete, but at the end of the day, you're called to be an athlete, to love God and to love people. That is not something that I'm called to, but I aspire to that one. You might feel called to be a songwriter, but at the end of the day, you're a songwriter, to love God and to love people. You might feel called to impact your high school. Well, that is to love God and to love people. Different purposes, different gifts, but one calling, one purpose, one God. In the big things and in the small things, God has called us to use our gifts for just that one purpose. And the thing is, we get to make that decision. God has given us the gifts, but he's put the ball in our court to decide what to do with them. We can decide to use our gifts and talents for our own glory. We can decide to use our gifts and talents for our own achievement, or we can make the decision to use our gifts and talents to build towards his one purpose, to what he intended to use our gifts for, to love God and to love people. So my next question for you and your life group tonight, and you're going to have to get a little bit undignified for this one. You're going to have to shrug off the fact that you might feel a little bit botsang, but I want you to admit tonight that you are gifted and that God has placed a gift in your life. I want you to say, what is one of your gifts and how can you use it to love God and to love people? Over to you guys. Amazing. I hope you're having some awesome chats in your life group tonight. And I just wanted to quickly speak to anyone who maybe is feeling a little bit discouraged today. Maybe you're feeling like all the people around you have these amazing gifts and have these amazing callings, but maybe you're feeling like that's not you. Maybe you're feeling a little bit unworthy. Maybe you're feeling a little bit unqualified. I want to remind you today that God has called you and he has a great purpose for your life, and you can make a difference right where you are. Romans 11, verse 29. For God's gifts and his call can never be withdrawn. Nothing you've done in your past can disqualify you from God's calling in your today. Lamentations says, his mercies are new every morning. All it takes is that one decision to get back on God's path for your life. The ball is in your court. Today you can make the decision, not just to keep the ball to yourself, but to pass it for the winning shot. Instead of just using your gifts for you, you can use them for the glory of God, for his purpose, to love God and to love people. So right now, we're going to do a spiritual gifts test in your life group tonight. Your life group leader is going to run it. And what this is going to do is this is going to help you identify a few of the many potential gifts that are on your life. It's going to help you identify and call them out so that you can use them, so that you can develop them, and so you can encourage each other in them. So hand back over to our life group leaders right now. Have the best time. Can't wait to see what results come from it. Love you guys, and we'll see you next term.